What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope you guys enjoyed my last vlog with Tales from Rehab, and we're going to continue that one at a later time because I have a whole lot more funny stories to share from Rehab. But for today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the time that I got robbed by somebody who I thought was my best friend, but he just turned out to be a giant piece of shit. So here we go with that story. I call this one the robbery. All right, so this particular story takes place around March of 2008. I hadn't seen my I hadn't seen my friend at the time, George, since January of '07, when I left to go home from physical rehab at Rusk. Um, so one day he decides to call me out of the blue. Um, so he calls me. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna bring over some girls. We're gonna have some fun. I know it's your birthday. Your birthday's coming up, so I wanna give you some fun, and I wanna give you the opportunity to have some fun, not give me some fun, because that would imply that he would anyway. So he said, I want to give you the opportunity to have fun. So I'm like, cool, you know. He said he's gonna bring some girls over, gonna have some drinks, you know, it's gonna be a good time. And I was planning on going to the strip club anyway that weekend. Uh, so what's a little more fun? Hey, have as much fun as you can because you only get one shot at this thing called life. So we make plans to meet up later that night. Okay, so I hang out with him, go through my school, and it was okay because I didn't have class the next day. I had off on Fridays that at that particular time in my college career, so it was cool. Um, so we make plans or whatever, and then he calls me about 6 and says he's on the way because he lives in Connecticut and it's gonna take him a little time to get there, and he's taking the train. So I'm like, all right, cool, you know, take a shower, and just get ready for him to come. And so he comes, you know, with these two dusty ass women, if you want to even call them that. One was bisexual, the other one was a straight dyke. I think they were dating each other. Who the fuck knows? Yeah, I don't care. Anyway, so so they come in and they don't come straight into my room, but when they come in, they're having a conversation on my couch, and that little did I know that that conversation was a plot to rob me. So um, the first thing that they do when they walk in to my room is they look at my setup. Now everybody that has been in my house knows that I have a really cool setup now, and I had a similar setup back then. But only thing that's changed is the systems, and the TV is a little bit bigger now than it was back then. But other than that, I had a really cool audio setup, and had a PlayStation 3, an Xbox 360, a flat screen, HD flat screen TV, and a 6 disc stereo CD changer. And I worked for those things. I didn't. They weren't just handed to me. I didn't rob them. I didn't go out and steal them. They were handed. They were. I worked for them with my financial aid checks. They bought those things. They paid well, and I was able to afford some really nice things, and I don't take that for granted. Um, but apparently they thought that this was going to be the perfect opportunity for them to rob me. So after some small talk and some conversation, they say that they're hungry. So, and of course, this motherfucker and his two hoes, they're all bums. So I had to end up paying for the Chinese food that we ordered. Okay, so we end up we eat the Chinese food, and then fucking one of the bisexual chick whispers to me. She goes, "Hey, I wanna give you, I wanna pleasure you. I want you to have fun with me." So then I smile and I'm like, oh shit, cool. And then what do you call it? So lights cut off, and George is on one side of the room with the chick, and I'm on the other side of the room with the chick, and she's pleasuring me. I don't know what the hell George and the other chick are doing. So while she's pleasuring me, I'm distracted, and I had about $200 in the drawer, in an envelope to be used as strip club money to go out that weekend. So, uh, and I had it tucked neatly away in an envelope. Uh, so it was nothing to mess with. It was in a secret hiding spot, or so I thought. And then, so as I'm distracted, I hear uh, some stuff moved around on the other side of moving around on the other side of the room. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then okay, so things wrap up, and what do you call it? So those two girls leave. They tell George that they're gonna meet him at the train station. So he's like, all right, cool, I'll be right there. So he starts talking to me. He says hi to my mom, whatever, and then he asked my home update Sarah to walk him to the train station, and she obliges because she's like the most sweetest person in the world. So as she's walking him to the train station, uh, he she's gone a little while, and the train station is like a 2 minute, not even, maybe 1 2 minute walk from my house. Right around the corner, actually. Anybody that's been in my house knows this. So, so then as I'm as I'm as Sarah's walking him to the train station, I immediately go into my drawer, uh, see the ripped up envelope in the drawer, and my money's missing, all $200 of it. So I'm like, what the fuck? I am furious at this point. Like I'm throwing shit, I'm tearing my room apart. I'm just furious. So and then so then what do you call it? I didn't know it at the time, but Sarah told me that they had been plotting to rob me all night, and that's what they did. So um I went to sleep like really furious. Like The I couldn't sleep all through the night. Next day I woke up in the morning. I had stuff I had to do, but I was still mad about it. So so I called him and I was like, "Hey, motherfucker, if I find out that you or your little hoes robbed me, plot to rob me and send me up, I'm coming after you." So I didn't get a response from him for till about like maybe 3 hours later. He said that he didn't plan to rob me, that they had robbed him, and I'm like, okay, so what did they rob you of? He's like, yo, the reason why I didn't get back to you was because they took the battery out of my phone. I'm like, yo, are you sure? So you're calling, so they took the battery out of your phone because you're calling me from your phone. And he goes, yeah, I have to buy a new one. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So, so what do you call it? Okay, so I left it alone. I wanted to have as much fun as I can, but as much fun as I could that weekend, but that shit was still in the back of my mind. Luckily, Hector spent a little cash on me, and I was still able to have a good time at the strip club. I took out a little more money, like $100 more. So, and it was just a bad weekend. I was trying to save what I had left of the weekend to try and have fun because it was my birthday after all. But that's just still in the back of my mind. Okay, fast forward, fast forward about a month later, I get another call. What do you call it? I'm at lunch with my friend Crystal, and my phone is just blowing up, and it's him, trying to contact me, trying to call me, and I didn't want shit to do with him at that point. Like, you fucking robbed me. Like, what else do you want from me? You took money from me. What do you want? So then, what do you call it? So like after like the seventh or eighth time that my phone rang, I shit you not, uh, Crystal goes, "You should take that, dude." And I was like, "Nah, I'm cool. I don't want to take it." So then, and then, uh, so I go on about my day, and then as I'm going home, he would not stop calling me. So I'm trying to, so I'm trying everything in my power not to pick it up, and I'm like, all right, let me see what this motherfucker wants. So I pick it up. He's like, yo, what do you what? He's like, yo, what the hell? I've been trying to call you. I'm like, yo, dude, I was in school. I had shit I had to do. What the hell do you want? And he goes, hey, what do you call it? I need another $60 from you because I gotta pay this dude back, and I'll pay you back all the money that you lost plus the money that you're gonna give me right now. And I'm like, who? And my response to him was, who the fuck said I'm giving you any sort of money for the money that you took from me? Like I straight up accused him of fucking robbing me because I know he has something to do with it. Like who would try to rob me? I have no enemies. I don't look for trouble, all that. So he's like, oh, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm gonna come over to your house later. We're gonna talk about this. I'm like, yo, don't come to my house because I'm not letting you in. And then what do you call it? So later on that day, I'm sitting doing my homework. It was another Thursday again, ironically. I'm sitting doing my homework, and all of a sudden, my mom comes over. She's like, "Hey, your friend George is at the door." But she didn't know. She didn't know not to let him in because if she had I told her not to let him in, and she was gonna ask why, and then the whole shit would have had to come out, and I didn't want it to come out at that point. So then so she leaves, and I told him, and I'm like, yo, I thought I told you not to fucking come over here. What are you doing? He's like, yo, I need that money. So apparently he has some fucking dude with him, whatever, this little, feminine looking dude, with him, and they were coming to get the $60 that they were gonna get from me, or the so, all right. So and stupid me. There were a few red flags for my family at that point because number one, every when I work on something, whether it's homework or a project that I'm working on, I'm locked in. I don't stop for nothing. Like I have to be told to eat. It's crazy. I don't stop for anything until my job is done. So I I left I left the house that day, like unannounced. Like I normally don't leave the house for anything unless I really have to. So then that was number one. Number two was I left the house without my phone, and I never do that. Never. I could be going around the corner to one of the bodegas on my block, and I still never leave without my phone. It doesn't matter. I'm always with my phone. My own phone is always with me. Um, so I had left my phone on the desk when I went out the door to leave. And on top of that, I didn't know it, but my freaking chair was gonna die. So I'm like, all right, let's go get this motherfucking money, so I don't have to hear no bullshit. So then I what do you call it? My chair dies halfway down the block, and I have to call my friend Sarah to help me get back to the house, and all this shit. So then he goes, "Oh, give me the money, and give me your card, and I'll take out the money for you." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna give you my card." Then, then what do you call it? So I give Sarah my card, and I tell her, what, just take out this fucking dude's money and all this shit. So they they leave to go get the money. I'm in the house or whatever, and then they're not with Sarah when she comes back. So they uh they take a they're not with her, but my card is there. So then I tell her give me back my card. She gives me back my card and the receipt, and then it's crazy. And then what do you call it? Then what do you call it? So then instead of just leaving with the money, they come back and they're trying to talk to me, and I'm just fucking irate at that point. I don't know why I gave them money or all this shit. Like when I said I wasn't, but I did, because if I didn't, they would have kept hounding me and all that. And I was stupid and naive back then. Trust me, if I knew then what I know now, I would never get into that shit. And I would have, just beat the shit out of both of them. So, let's face it, they don't stand a chance against me. So, so what do you call it? I give them the money and all this shit. But like I said, they come back to my house, and at that point, my mom could tell something's wrong with me. So when they come back into the house, his little boyfriend, the dude that he brought with him, is waiting outside, and he comes inside. So then my mom is like, okay, what's going on here? And then what do you call it? He's trying to whisper to me. He's trying to whisper to me, hey, don't lose your shit, don't blow up my cover and all that shit. And I'm like, nah, fuck it, fuck this shit, it gotta come out. So then I start saying everything. I start telling all. What do you call it? So I blew up the whole shit. I blew up how him and these fucking two girls robbed me and all this bullshit. And but then he tries to run, and my mom lets him get away, whatever. But she's really upset at me. She's like, it's not the fact that you got robbed. I don't care about that money. You can replace, but why didn't you tell me that you got robbed? And I was like, I don't want to worry you and all that and all this shit. And then what do you call it? So yeah, I was kind of fucked at that point. Uh, so so what do you call it? So after that, the whole thing blows over. After the whole thing blows over, I don't hear from him again for about another year. So then, what do you call it? Let me just back up a little bit. Had my brother been home, sidebar, my brother Gus, had he been home, that shit would have been real different. So then, I don't hear from him for about another year. And then at this time, my friend Lizzie calls me and she goes, "Hey, yeah, he's what do you call it? He's sitting up here bragging about what he did to you, like how he robbed me and all that shit." And I was like, "Oh, word, right? Oh, okay, okay." So then at this point, like, I got my money, got the money situation taken care of. I was able to get it back because I told the bank that I had some fraudulent charges, traced to my account, and they did an investigation, and they gave me my money back. I was able to get all the money back that he had taken from me. So, but I still wanted revenge. So so what do you call it? So I'm like, all right, word. So and I still had his number. I'm like, yo, what do you call it? He's he then so then after him getting his shit blown up and by my friend Liz, he calls me threatening me, telling me that that he's gonna punch me in my face and that he's coming to fight me or whatever. I'm like, yo, come on with it. Like, if you're gonna fight me, let's fight. What do you call it? I told him you may come here, but you're not walking out of here alive. I guarantee you that. I put that on everything. That's on my mama. You wanna play with me? You're gonna see what the game really is. So then, what do you call it? Uh, he talks all this shit and everything like that, and he doesn't end up showing up or whatever. So but little did I know that he had gotten into a little scuffle over there with my friend Liz's nephews. So, and they were gonna beat the shit out of him. And all I said to them was, "Yo, leave me a little piece of him because I still want my piece." So I don't know what happened. Apparently, he called the cops, told them that they were holding him against his will. Meanwhile, he tried to rob them of money and all that shit. So it was a whole sticky situation. He's a little worm foul motherfucker. He's a little piece of shit. So, so what do you call it? Um, so he doesn't show up to fight me or whatever. Then he calls me about 3 months later, talking about oh that he's a born again Christian and that he wants to forget about everything that he did to me in the past and he wants to settle up the situation. Then I I tell my friend Sarah what he told me, and then Sarah and I know some. really dangerous people. So we apparently word had got back to them about what was gonna happen, and they told me don't meet him anywhere because he said that he wanted to meet me in some hotel or something or some abandoned warehouse. I forgot exactly what he said, but he said that he wanted to meet me in some place. But had I met him there, I knew that I was gonna get jumped, or hurt or something like that. So I said to him, and this is the last thing I said to him. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna meet you. You can give me your money back. You can give me my money back, even though I had already gotten it back from the bank. But you can give me it back, and but I'm not coming alone. And sure enough, never heard from him again. And it is 13 years later, and I'm still here, and who the hell knows, or who cares what happened to him? But I learned a valuable lesson from that experience, and this is why I don't lend out money to people, because a lot of people are no good. They say they're gonna fucking pay you back, and you help them and you do everything for them, but in the end they end up turning their fucking back on you, and this is what happens. So I learned a lesson myself. Um, so anyway, that's the vlog for this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button so you don't miss whenever I drop a video. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.